the essay, which is I think the biggest bonanza for these students because they can score 173 out of 250, which is probably not possible in any other stream, in GS especially. So I have two questions. One is how to select the topic in part A and part B, and what kind of dimensions are required to frame or draft a good essay so that you can, if something blunder happened in your some other people, it will, you know, take care of that mistake. So how to select the essay first, and second is what is your approach to write down a wonderful essay, the vibrant live essay?
As I am a sociology student, my always approach was, in the first part I used to select a social issue related topic, which is usually always there. And social issue related topic has variety of dimensions. I could write economically, politically, and that all kind of dimensions I could put in. So when you see an essay, the first thing we should hit on is how many dimensions am I able to recall? That can I write about it or not? So that has to click to you so that you can write about those dimensions. Second is what do I write? How do I write it? I had a very specific approach to that essay. I had made notes of all the topics, variety of topics, basic starting points which can be used, basic quotes which can be used, and I used to divide in a very my starting of an essay has to be with an anecdote. I always start my essay with an anecdote. That's my approach. I had very temporal approach would be the next, how it has happened, if it is possible, and very crisp headings, so that the examiner who's checking my paper, he has an idea that what is my flow. So I always used to maintain that flow by writing headings and maintaining a flow of the essay. So we have that in mind, and starting with a rough is mandatory. Start with a rough. You should always invest at least half an hour. I always used to invest half an hour, 15 minutes to both the essays to make a rough. You should know what you're writing. Otherwise, I believe me, by the time you write an essay, first essay, second essay के बारे में कुछ नहीं याद आ रहा होगा. First, devote 15 minutes, write a complete thing. अगर लग रहा है इसमें points नहीं है, move on. Make it fast. But do make a rough. It really helps.
I think moving impromptu will be detrimental to your score.
Yes.
Is it your is this the same approach, Muskan, that you have followed? What Sanjita just said?
Quite similar. Like I used to do some brainstorming before selecting. Like if I'm able to find some 10 or 20 good points which I can elaborate upon, I would list them down and then only I would choose that specific topic. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next one before selecting. And for preparing the essays, I had listed down some of the major topics like education, poverty, and women empowerment. And I had collected data on these topics and some of the quotes related to these topics, which I could use while writing my essays. So that was my basic approach, like 10 to 12 major topics I had listed down and I had prepared some data bank on those topics.
I think the segregation portion is very good. Even in KSG, we provide certain topics to the students. Like these are the points and we provide some spaces for the keywords. And there is an optional approach that Khan sir has devised in which he tries to give optional. Suppose there is a question on women empowerment. Now you have to think the optional approach, like the anthropological, sociological, historical, economical. So that's an optional approach that Khan sir gave. It's very wonderful, I think. Now, last but not the least, the D-Day of the UPSC, that is the interview day, because I very rarely found someone who is not shivering or not very, confident of just I'm going and now I'll be coming with a rank with them. So what is your take on the interview personality development test? Like usually they ask from your def, but then there are certain issues like Sanjita is from Odisha. So there are issues related to frequent floods, which is happening in there. And like tribal issues are there recently, a few years back, like if you have remember, Dongariya Khon tribe started protesting against the Niyamgiri bauxite mining case. How do you deal with the local issues? And apart from this, your subject, like what is the experience that you have observed during your personality test and how KSG is instrumental in helping you out in that?
In my personality test preparation, I have seen what you need to be very thorough about is your own state, your own state's basic problems, at least when, if there will be many issues you're not aware about, but when you belong to a state, there are very basic, as you talk about Dongriya cones, everyone knows about it. So when they ask you, you should have a crystal clear understanding and you should be able to project it. So what my preparation strategy was writing down as many questions as possible and answers. So keep on maintaining a question bank. So you keep on writing the question and answers. In a KSG, when I had sent my DAB, they did the exact same thing. They sent me a complete list, expected questions. And then second is when I did my mock interview over in KSG, the feedback. It was a final interview I gave. So it was my final interview before the real interview. So that feedback helped me to fine print some of the small things which I was missing out. So that helps me in improving my personality as a whole. So that helped me a lot. So, and Khan sir's videos are there on YouTube. When he asks a question and it stops, and then you give an answer. I am a person who speaks a lot. So I have always told to cut down. So that helped me to restrict my answers and be more concise and crisp. So that helped actually.
Yes, Muskan, how is your experience? How was your experience with the interview board and the questions that they put forward for you? Was it patchy or was it cordial?
My interview was very cordial. It went on really smoothly. Since my name is Muskan, so it started like this only. The chairperson sir asked me like, your name is Muskan. Are you still smiling? So I removed my mask and I showed him, yes sir, I'm smiling. And it ended on that note only. He again asked me before leaving like, are you still smiling? I again showed. So it was a very happy interview for me. And one thing I'd like to add, it's very important to be well read for the interview, like related to the state, your hobbies, or whatever you have mentioned in DAF, because it gives you confidence when you're entering the boardroom. Also, Khan sir has sent me this audio clip. I listened to it just before going to the boardroom. So he had listed me some of the points which I need to keep in mind. It helped me a lot to have that confidence. So it was a happy interview for me.
So congratulations to both of you from my side, and I'm glad to have a chit chat with you, which is very informative for our viewers, and I also learned a lot from you both. And my best wishes that you both get your home cadre. Let's see. It is, it is the virtue of Ministry of Personnel, how they will see and the state's requirement. But my best wishes that you will become a wonderful officers, because IAS is just a mean, not an end. Thank you.